24th of August 2016. Welcome to episode 12 of RapBabble, the weekly hip-hop show. If you want to be a host with us, just send me an email at rapbabble@gmail.com. And I call it RapBabble, but I might as well call it Drake News because this is the third week in a row now that the main story is about Drake. And the first 2 weeks, I don't think he caused that. This time, he's done it to himself. He's made himself the news. And I didn't really want to do 3 weeks in a row, but that's what we have, so let's go with it. I'm a big Drake fan also. 3 weeks kind of is my limit, but I'm a big fan of his anyway, so let's get this rolling. So he's continuing on his tour. He has the Summer 16 tour, which is the tour for Views, and also features on there as well. So it's What a Time to Be Alive. It says Evil, his Future's album, but I didn't see any of his songs on the set list, so I don't think it's anything to do with that. So he was on this tour and he was in Philadelphia. That is the home of Meek Mill, someone he has battled in the very near past. And so Drake decided to turn things up a little bit. So last week he made comments at Madison Square Garden, which is in New York, and he wasn't the instigator in that situation. Someone had started on him, so I gave him the benefit of the doubt with that one. This one, however, he decided to come out and say something against Meek Mill in his own city. It's a brave move, and I respect him for doing it, well, at least at the time when the battle was on. Because Meek Mill was the one who exposed the whole Drake uses a ghostwriter thing. And then Drake came back with a diss, and then Meek Mill had a diss. So yeah, he dissed him in Philadelphia at the time. I give him praise for that because that's a brave thing to do. But this time he came around and he did the same thing, and he decided to, even though everything had been like settled, the beef was cold, let's say. And he decided to make comments against Meek Mill. So it kind of looks like he's doing it for a bit of attention, really, so that he can stay in the press, which he doesn't really need it anyway, but he did it anyway. And so he changed one of the lines in his song, and he mentioned Meek Mill. And think of one of the more disrespectful things you can say to a guy, pretty much something you could say to a guy that would kind of translates to, I want to fight you right now. One of those things, yes. You thinking the P word, that's it. And I don't know why he has done that. I just don't get it. He's just calling him out, basically asking for a fight, and then disappears, obviously. He finishes the tour, he carries on with the tour. Why would you call him that? Why? I better not batter this point too much, but yeah, it's frustrating. Anyway, it's just one small line, it's one small bit, but then it kind of took over the airwaves a little bit of news. So then Meek Mill took he took some guys down to the concert to try and find Drake, and he didn't find him, obviously, because he has a lot of security and he's moving quickly. That's where that story ends. I mean, it really has no interesting part to it. It's kind of annoying, kind of boring, but it's slightly dangerous. That's the problem. Like, this is starting to become, I mean, those are fighting words pretty much. And really, I don't respect you if you should really only say that if you're ready to go and see someone. If you're ready to pretty much fight them on the street. That's when you say stuff like that. That's when you're that disrespectful to them. Not at a concert. Or if you do it at a concert, you better... Like, anytime any rapper says that, they are ready for that. So if you're not ready for a confrontation, don't say it. So this is kind of him going out of his comfort zone and out of his boundaries and trying to be a tough guy when he doesn't really need it. And I wonder if this says something about his personality and his psychology as well, because not content with having a triple platinum album in Views, he needs more. Can you not give it a rest and just enjoy the money? Just leave it at that. So yeah, I don't know where else to go with this. I mean, that's the only thing to say. Oh, there was one other thing, one other quite funny part, which was when one of Meek Mill's goons was on his phone recording, saying, we're outside the concert, we're looking for you, Drake, and if anything happens, he has just incriminated himself. He also claimed that they were 200 deep, and then later on he said we're actually only 3 people. He kind of said that. That's what I picked up from what he was saying. Yeah, he was in a car with one other guy to his side when he said, yeah, we're 200 deep. So maybe he meant like, oh, I could muster 200 people if I actually made some phone calls. But at the moment, it's just me and my friend, and we're sitting outside the concert. So yeah, so that it's incriminating if something happens. And you can hear the guy was really trying to score as many points as he could, as many tough points as he could. Saying like, oh, look, Drake's got a police escort. And that's a tweet that Meek Mill sent as well, saying a similar thing. And just, there's a lot of like tough talk, look how tough I am, da da da. If you watch it, you'll hear like everything he says is an attempt to make himself look tough. And one thing I've realized about toughness, it's almost like keeping up with the Joneses. Like in high society, you have people trying to maintain an image of wealth and class, and then when you go to the hood, you kind of have a similar thing, but instead of wealth and class, it's toughness, and it's the same. Like we have to make sure we make everyone see us in this certain light. So there's a lot of it's not pretending, it's just kind of exaggerating or making sure everyone are commenting like unnecessary stuff. So I'd love it if that stuff went away. I want people to be real. They don't need to be exaggerated or caricatures. But yeah, this guy was interesting to watch just based on that alone. So as I'm struggling to find other things to talk about because this is a pretty dull topic, I'll leave it at that and hope there's no more action on this topic whatsoever. Although I don't think Meek Mill's going to let it sit like that. Like Drake just made it. Like before, it was fine because Meek Mill made a move, Drake made a move, Meek Mill made another one, Drake made another one, and then it was just kind of left. But then when someone out of nowhere starts something, well then you're going to want to make another move. So I fully suspect either a proper diss track from Meek Mill, or he's gonna be chasing him. I mean, this could turn violent. I did have a moment where someone was watching Drake on someone was recording him on a video on a phone as he was leaving the concert, and it just reminded me of Tupac, and it just reminded me. I mean, there's lots of video footage of him, and he also had he had so much music made. I mean, imagine if Drake was to die at this point, because he's kind of opening himself up to that now. Not that I'm saying the two rappers are the same, but I did have a flash of that when I saw that video footage, that sort of really bad video footage of someone watching him walking away from leaving the concert. A lot of security around him. If you look at a lot of video footage, Tupac kind of has done similar things. There's a lot of video footage of him coming out of court, going to court. So yeah, I just had a flash of that for a moment. I don't want this to be the same situation, but don't push yourself in that direction because that's where it could end up. And the thing about this situation is Meek Mill may not actually have control over the people that are associated with him. He's busy, and he's not a general. He's not like in charge of the troops or a captain. Maybe captain's actually on the ground. He's far away. The others are gonna act by themselves. And so you're almost like you're not even beefing with him. It's the people who support Meek Mill. They're kind of 2 degrees of freedom away. They're not people who actually know Meek Mill, but they're kind of people loosely associated with him who may try something, who are thirsty for blood. There are a lot of people who are thirsty for blood. So you open yourself up to that. So I think he's just opened himself up to a lot of difficulty. And rap has been peaceful until now. I don't want it to change. I don't want any more dead rappers. So This was not a wise move. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. This podcast is on YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, and Audio Mac, so subscribe to us. And if you want to be a host, email us, rapbabble@gmail.com, and I'll be back next week. See ya.